Hello? Knock, knock. Anyone home? Feeling a lot? Feeling good? Feeling feisty? Feeling a lot. How about you? How are you feeling? This is Renee Jane, and as always, it's really good to be here with you on my Facebook page. If you are here, say hello in the comments so I know you're here. And I named this video a whole bunch of things, as you may see, and so I'm going to touch on a few things right now. My air conditioning just went out, so I'm feeling warm, but it's good. It's all working out. And what's important right now for me to share with all of you is that this is just a little vulnerable share about me. I feel like in my life I have part of maybe my Virgo nature. If you follow astrology, I'm a Virgo, Leo rising, Pisces moon. And part of my nature has been planning. I like to plan. I like to make lists. I like to have everything organized. I like to have it all laid out. And then when the plan feels ready, I want to execute it. And what's been challenging me lately is that the world we're living in is the exact opposite of my nature. And that's okay. I actually think it's very powerful. And I don't think I'm the only one. I don't think it has just to do with my astrological sign. And I think that the world we're in is full of uncertainty and opportunities for us to let go of control. And when I look back in the last 20 years of the work that I have done on myself in this personal development, spiritual space, we'll call it, and all the coaching industry, you know, I've been like completely annihilated in some relationships. And I don't mean just romantic ones, because I've probably annihilated others in those relationships too. I don't say probably, I know I have. And even in the coaching space, I've had some crappy things happen, you know? So I sit here with you today and I think, you know, like, I love this industry and I'm here to take a stand for it changing and it being incredibly powerful, and it is. But there's a lot of like crappy stuff. And what I'm noticing is that in order to live healthfully and function healthfully and powerfully in this world right now, what is required of us is to no longer do so much of the planning stuff and to really just show up with spontaneity. And so that's what I'm here today. I mean, I actually wrote a few notes down, so if you see me look down, but they're just literally words. There's really no agenda here today, except for this idea that if you are walking, and this is hypothetical, but it could be literal too, and you see a door that looks interesting, walk the heck through the door. If you have an idea that you want to share, just get up and share it. Share it imperfectly. That's what I'm trying to do right now. If you are waiting around for a sign or some idea to, like, you know, fester a little bit so you can see if it's a good, stop waiting and just show the heck up. This is a time, this right now is the time in our lives, in my life, in your life, in all of our lives, where it's never been more important for us to show up and to speak, but to not worry so much about getting it right or getting it perfect. What I have learned being a coach in this industry, because when you're a coach, you get every opportunity to have people mirror back to you all your shit, basically. It's the best thing ever. And it's also sometimes the most challenging. And what I think about in the last, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 years has been all the poking at my perfectionism. And I often like to say, hi, I'm Renee. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And I've done a lot of recovery work in my life in other areas, like legit recovery work. When I think about recovering, I think about recovering the self, recovering aspects of us that we didn't want to show, we didn't want people to see. And we're here, as most of us are, because I really believe most of us are perfectionists actively or recovering perfectionists. We are here making mistakes. We're here putting it out there and goofing up. And I desire to live in a world where it's okay for us to all do that, and to have grace while we do it. And part of this idea right now is that there's no longer any waiting. Hello, for those tuning in. It's good to see you. There's no longer any waiting. Like, what if we let that go? And we challenged ourselves just a little bit right now to not wait on the thing that we want to do, to not wait on the thing that we want to say. For those of you who've been following me for a while, a couple weeks ago, I got engaged to be married. And it's incredibly exciting because this beautiful man that I get to have in my life is a person. And I don't want to make this video all about that, but what I want to share it is because we were actually speaking with each other this morning about this very idea. That is, as exciting as it is to make this deep choice of commitment, it also brings up our shit. It brings like a little bits of fear. Not fear in the way in which, we'll run, not in any negative way, but to be somebody who doesn't even acknowledge that doesn't feel authentic. So we can be both the perfectionist who's afraid to make mistakes, and we can be the person who shows up anyway. We can be the person in relationship who is deeply desiring of a conscious, healthy communication and commitment. And we can also be the person who has twinges of fear around it too. We can be the person who rises to the occasion and opens up the new door that feels radically different and steps into it. And then we can also be the person who might be mourning or grieving a little bit of the past where we've come from. But if there's anything that I've gotten clear on lately, it is that there is no time to waste on trying to do the same old shit we've been doing all this time. And one of the things I hear from clients, I just heard this on the phone from a potential client just a couple days ago. And it was that same old story of, well, I'll love myself when. I'll love myself when I lose the weight. I'll love myself when I get the finances going in my bank account. I'll love myself when the relationship is stable. I'll love myself when my family or my parents accept me. I'll love myself when I feel externally validated on social media. I'll love myself when I get the promotion. I'll love myself when, right? Like, how long have we been doing this? How long? How about we decide today, you and me, I'm speaking for me and you and everyone who needs to hear this. What if we decide today that we get to be more radical in our choices and make some moves to not only love ourselves now, but to step out and do things way different than we have ever done before. And I'm not suggesting that we put ourselves in harm's way or we do anything that, that's not what I'm getting at here. Hopefully you know that. The last thing I want to share is when it comes to taking decisive action, what is really required of us, and this is the deep work, this is the work that I help people with as a coach. I have learned that it's really hard to be decisive. It's really hard to have powerful discernment if we're still dealing with a lot of trauma. And everybody has trauma, and no one's immune to that. But what happens is if we haven't done the work and worked through it, if we aren't aware of how our nervous system is operating and how our nervous system is telling us turn right or turn left or stay present here or move forward, if we're not aware of what's happening in our physical body, then we will often mistake the powerful action to move forward as fear. So in other words, the thing that we want to do, the radical change we want to make, the thing that we want to do to move forward, it may feel so uncomfortable because it's poking at our old trauma, at our old patterns. But in reality, in the here and now, if that trauma was in recovery or in the process of being healed with some self-love and self-leadership and self-healing, then we would probably make those crazy, decisive, radical changes from a way different place. Because we would know that even in the uncomfortableness of moving forward into the unknown, that we would be safe. And that's ultimately, I think, what we all really want, is we want to know that we're safe. But what I want to do is I want to be here to help you and to help others know that sometimes taking the step forward doesn't feel safe. In fact, most of the time it doesn't. It just doesn't. So, and it can be not necessarily feeling safe, but it can intellectually and physically in our system be safe. And it can also be exciting. One of my mentors used to say to me that fear and excitement are on that same vibrational spectrum. You may have heard me say this before, or somebody else, but the only difference is that when we are in excitement, we are smiling. We are smiling. So, with that said, I want to wrap up and just share with you that in tomorrow's video, this is funny because I actually kind of planned this one ahead, but I didn't plan what I'm going to say yet. I just know that I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. I want to talk about immunity. You know, I don't care if you got the jab. I don't care if you didn't get the jab. I'm just going to be blunt and tell you I'm never going to get that particular one, and that's okay. You know, I respect you and your decision, but I do know this. Whoever you are, your immune system is your immune system, and I am here on this planet to help people with self-leadership and self-love and self-healing, and I want to show you how you are a self-healer. And the thing that makes me the most sad is when people don't believe that their immune systems are their superpowers. When people don't believe that that is something that can help facilitate their greatest leadership and health moving forward. So tomorrow, I am going to come on and share about some of the things that, unfortunately, the other things I can't say here are probably going to be shared on a Zoom call because I can't share everything on social media. But I'm going to share a lot on how powerful you are and how powerful your immune system is and how you can support it and support yourself if you're uncertain or you don't know how. So please tune in for that. And then finally, if you are in a place where you have known me for a while and you know my work, there are 3 ways to work with me. If we're just meeting, then it's so nice to meet you. Please make a comment, and so we can connect with each other and I can say hello. There's 3 ways to work with me right now. I have 2 openings in my coaching course, and it includes my course that I have spent over a decade building and making powerfully radical changes in people's lives. And it also includes coaching with me one-on-one. And I also have private VIP coaching, only 1 spot available for that, 2 spots available in my course and coaching. And I also have some breathwork classes right now. And so I will put some links around. They're also probably in past videos. But if you want more information and details, you can also reach out to me and send me a DM. I'm happy to share. And I am doing these 40 videos in 40 days on knowing yourself. This is about building intimacy with yourself, so that way you can be grounded in your own wholeness. You can have more love and connection and leadership with who you are. You can find the self-healer within you, and then therefore be in much more alignment with who you are, so you can share it with everyone in your world, in this community. And it's so good to be here. So I love you all. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you soon.